Welcome to day 7, and this is video lesson 7. Now, up to this moment, we have really made significant progress. If you've been coming along with me and practicing after every single lesson, you've really built your confidence in handling a number of things when working with MS Word. You've built your confidence on how to work with computer. And we want to take things beyond to the next level. And what we're going to do in this lesson, like I promised the previous lesson, I'm going to show you how to create page borders. And then you're going to dive into 3 objects, probably 4 if time allows. But we're going to dive into 3 major objects that you're going to have to use when you're working with MS Word. Now, before we dive into those objects and how to use them, where they applied, how to create them, what I want to do right now is I'm going to show you how to create page borders. Now, most of us have seen certificates, any kind of a certificate. Normally, they tend to have beautiful borders that makes them more attractive. I want to show you how to create those borders. You can insert any border that you want in your page when you're creating any document. I want to show you how to do that. So let's get started. My hope and belief is that you practiced working with the charts and you practiced working with tables, right? So let's get right ahead. All right, now how do you insert borders on your pages? It's very simple. To insert a border, all you need to do is you go to page layout menu here, and then you go to page borders right here. You click page borders. You're going to have this borders and shading dialog box appearing on your screen. Now, at this point, you can see different, first of all, you can see this section. What this section has is none, meaning currently there's no border. And this is the preview. Preview shows you any changes that you make here will be seen on the preview. And it will basically show you how your document is going to look like if you apply the border that I've chosen. So now we are, when you look at this point, you notice this option here of none is the one that is selected. So currently we don't have any border. If I can pick this section called box, and now you're going to have a border that creates actually a border that encloses your text. You can also pick a shadow. It's a border that will appear as if it has shadow. And then you can also pick 3D, and this is a border that will appear as if it's a 3D border. And then you can go to custom, and there you can decide how you want your border to look like. Now, let's create a border. What we're going to do is I'm going to pick box, and I'm going to scroll down here. I'm going to pick the border that we want to apply here. There are many borders here, so I'm going to scroll down here, and I want this kind of a border, right? So notice when I select that border, it's indicated here, or rather it's shown on the preview. Now on the preview, I can decide if I want the border probably on the top, at the bottom, and I don't want the border to be on the sides of my page. So how do I deactivate the borders on the side? Just come here. This button represents the border on the right side. So I click it. Notice the border here is gone. Okay, and I can remove the one on the left side by clicking this button, and it's gone. And now I have the border only on top at the bottom. Okay, let's activate those borders again. By the way, if I pick the color of that border to be red, and then I pick the border to be, let's pick, I pick that border, it's going to be red. That's going to be the border. We can pick the thickness. Unfortunately, we don't have any other level of thickness, and I'm going to retain that one. If I click OK, you're going to have this border on my page only at the top and the bottom. Let's click OK and see. There you go. So notice now you have a border here at the bottom, and if you scroll upward, you have another border here at the top. The problem is our border doesn't have the color that we wanted, red. So let's go back there and see what happened. Click page borders. Let's pick color for the border again, red. Ensure that you can see the border being red, and let's see what happens. Click OK, and let's scroll and see whether we have our border. Our border is still there, but still not red. So let's see what might be up. Click red. Let's reapply the borders again. Okay, I deactivate, I activate. Now it's red. I remove this, and then you click OK, and there you are. So you have your border, and your border is red. All right, now that we've learned how to do that, let's go back there, and let's now have border around the entire page. So I'm going to activate this one. I'll click this one to activate the border on the right side, and let's pick a different border. Let's pick something like this one, right? And let's pick a different color. By the way, the first thing that you want to pick first of all is the color before you pick the border, so that when you pick the border, it will assume that color. So let's say we want this color for a border, and let's pick the border here, and then we're going to have to deactivate and activate to change the border, deactivate and activate to change the border color, deactivate, activate to change the border color, deactivate and activate to change the border color. Now at this point you can decide where you want to apply the border. You can notice what you have here is apply to whole document. Right click there. You can also apply the border to a given section, or to just one page only, or to this section except the first page. So you have all these options. We want the border to be on the whole document, so you click the whole document, then you click OK, and there you go. Now when you look at your page, it has this kind of a border, and that is how you apply page border. Now let's go back there. We just picked the styles of borders here, but you can pick more artistic borders. So where do you get artistic borders? You come down here, you click here, and there are all these different flowers that you can use as a border. Let's just pick one of them and apply them as a border. So I'm going to scroll down. Let's pick, sorry, let's see. All right, let's pick this as a border. So this is the border that you're going to have, and you cannot notice it has already been applied. This is the border we're going to have around our page. So we click OK. There you go. Now you scroll your page, very beautiful with external borders. So you want to put border on your document, that is how you do it. You can pick artistic border, which is what we just applied here, or you can pick one of the border styles, these ones here. So whether you pick these ones or whether you pick these ones, the procedure of applying them is the same. Great. You can also change the page shading, which oftentimes you may not need to, but just for the purposes of learning, let's just go to shading, and we want to apply the shading or the page or the shading on a specific text. So I'm not going to apply to the whole page because it will seem like a page color. So let's say I want to change the page, I want to apply shade as a background on this text. I highlight the text, right, like that. Let's do that with this text that we have here. So I highlight this text or these paragraphs, and then I go to borders, and then what do? You go to shading, you click shading tab, not borders this time round, shading tab. You click shading, and then you click color, and then you can pick any color and use that color as a background. You click it, it's going to have a purple background, and then apply it to this paragraph. If you click here, you can apply it to the text, and you notice it will pick a very specific text and apply it. So we want to apply it to that paragraph, and then you click OK, and there you go. So you have your paragraph and it has a background shade. That is how you can use shading. I want you to try with the rest of the paragraphs and see how it works. And let's go and do one more thing. Let's go back to page borders. By the way, always remember, how do you get to see the page borders? You have to go to page layout, and then you go to page borders. Now we have this tab here that says borders. Now let's see, if you use this tab called borders, not page border but borders, it is going to apply the border to a specific text, or actually the text on that page, not on the entire page, but the text that we've already selected in that page. For instance, if I highlight here like that, I can decide to apply specific border around that text. I go to page border, and then I go to borders, and then I pick the style that I want to apply. The different styles here, I can go with this style, right? And I can change the color to, if I don't like these colors, I'll go for more colors. Then I can go to standard tab here, then I pick this color, and then I click OK, and then I click OK. Now this border is going to be applied to the paragraph that I have chosen. Click OK. There you go. Notice now this paragraph has this specific border that makes it more attractive. Let's do one more. You highlight the paragraph that you want to apply border on. Okay, you go to page layout, then you go to borders, then you pick the border that you want. Let's pick a different border here, like let's go with that. Let's change the color. Let's give it what kind of a color? Let's give it this color. Okay, let's go for more color. That one doesn't seem to be activated. Let's pick that color, then you click OK. That is the color of that border. Thickness is the only thickness that you have, right? So you click OK. Now something we didn't do right, let's undo. Let's go back to borders. We were supposed to pick borders, not page borders, so you have to be very careful. Go to borders, here we are, scroll down, let's pick a border. We had selected that one, so there it is. You can change the color if you want, and then you click OK. The border is going to be applied on that text. So you can apply text borders. Basically, this is all formatting. You can make your page and your document look as beautiful as you want it to be, right? So I want you to practice that, and I want you to get good at that. You can pause this video lesson, go ahead, do some practice, and then come back, and we are going to move to the next thing. So I'm gonna give you a few minutes, practice that, and then once you're done, come back and let's continue with this video lesson. Great, welcome back. Now my hope is you have practiced, and if you haven't, if you still need some more time, just pause the video lesson, practice until you get confident enough Once you do, you resume back. So for now, let's move forward. Now, I'm going to scroll back, and what I want to do is I want to show you now. Scroll upward. I want to show you how to insert an object that you call text box. Now, as the name suggests, a text box is basically a box that you can put text in, right? And I'm going to show you why it's important and where you apply it. But first of all, let's see how we can do it. I'm going to scroll upward. I want to create a text box right here. And how do you access the text box? Now, text box is in a group of objects that we call basic shapes. You can get text box on the basic shapes. So how do you get text box? You go to insert. Once you go to insert, you come to shapes. You click shapes here, and you can see all different types of shapes that you're going to be learning how to use them. But for now, we want to focus on text box. And this is your text box. How do you know the text box? Normally you see a letter inside and then some horizontal lines indicating in that box you can type. So I click the text box. Your mouse pointer changes to a plus sign, and that is an indication that your mouse is ready to draw a box, just like you drew a table. So you click and hold down the left mouse button without releasing it, then you drag into it to have a box. There you are, you have your box. Notice now inside the box there's a cursor, the blinking part. That indicates to you that you can type inside the box. So let's type something, and that is this is my seventh lesson in this course, and I am really making significant progress, right? I am enjoying every bit of the video lessons. All right, so that is our text. Let me fix that spelling and grammar. I think incorrect from there. Significant, and I good. And then we can format the text. So I'm going to highlight the text. We can format it. I go to home. I want to make it a little bit bigger, like 12. Let's change the font type to Calibria, and let's give it something like 14 font size. Great. Now that is it. That is how you create your text box. Now the difference between using a text box the difference between typing your text inside a text box and typing it on the normal page is this. With the text box, you can rotate the text by actually rotating the text box, and so that text can rotate at any given angle. You probably seen some documents that have text that's rotated to a specific angle or specific direction. The way they do that is they have to type the text inside a text box, and then they rotate the text. So how do we rotate this text? It's simple. Select the text box by clicking the outline, and then you're going to see two types of handles. This colorless handle here, there's another handle here, there's another handle here, there's another handle here. These handles, they have their own job, and then we have this green handle here. First of all, let's deal with these handles here. The colorless one, the purpose of these handles is to resize the size of this text box, meaning I can make it bigger, I can make it smaller, I can make it wider, I can make it longer or short, right? So how do you do that? Let's say there's a lot of space here and this space is not typed, and so I don't need all this space. So I need to resize this text box. I need to drag it, or I need to resize it up to this point around here, okay, so that it's very close to the text. How do you do that? You come to the colorless handle, you position your mouse pointer there, and it will change to a double arrow mouse pointer or mouse icon, and then you click, hold down the left mouse button, and then you drag, and then you release. There you go. Now you notice your text box has been resized. I can even say that now that you have a lot of space here, I want to resize it again. I will select it by clicking the outline. I'll come right here. Once you position your mouse pointer at that colorless handle there, you get to see two arrows pointing different directions, or your mouse pointer will change into a double arrow pointing in the opposite direction. You click and hold down, and then you drag, then you release. There you have. Now we have resized our text box. That is how you can resize your text box. Now you can also drag or move this text box around where you want it to go. To do that, come to the outline. Once you get to the outline, what you notice is, and don't come to the handles here. If you come to the handle, the mouse pointer will change to something else. So come to the outline, not on the handle, but somewhere on the outline. The mouse pointer will change to 4 arrows pointing in the opposite direction. At that point, if you click, you'll be able to select the text box. You click, hold down the left mouse button, and then you drag, and you can move the text box where you want. Okay, that is how you move it around. So now we have our text box. We know how to resize it, we know how to drag it, or how to move it around. So now, how do we rotate the text in our text box? It's very simple. You come to the green handle. The green handle is the one that you use to rotate. So you come to the green handle, you position your mouse pointer there. The mouse pointer will change into a rotation. Just to move it a little bit upward. All right. So bring your mouse pointer here, and it will change. It will have a rotation symbol. If I click and hold down, and then try to move my mouse or drag my mouse to make a rotation movement, you notice now the text box will rotate together with the text, and now you have your text at a certain angle. Okay, and you can highlight the text. Let's highlight the text and apply some text, some font color. Let's get it maybe blue. And then you can also change the background color of the text box. To do that, you don't use this. This is only for changing the font color. If you want to change the text background color, in this case, you come here where you have this shading. This bucket carries different variety of colors. So you click this button here to get to see all those different colors. I can click and use this color. All right, now that one may not give us what you're looking for. All right, let's use another method that will give us what you're looking for. We select the text box, then go to format. Don't use this one. It will not give you what you're looking for. You're going to get a shade for the text, but we want to change the background of the text box. So come to format here. Make sure the text box is selected. Come to format here, and then come to shape fill. Click there. Then you can pick the color that you want here. Notice if I apply that color, it will be applied on the entire text box. Let me pick a different color. That one is okay. There you go. So now you have your text box. It has its own background. You've text inside, which has its own background. And now you click away. Oh, seems like we made the text box so small that some text was left out. So I want to click here and pull it a little bit. Then I space here. That sounds right. Then we highlight the text and let's change its color. We go home, come here, and let's apply a different color. And sorry, you come here, actually remove this, click no color, we don't want color there. So we come here and change the text color to that color, then you click OK. So there you are, you have your text box. Now you might ask, okay, how do I make sure that the outline of the text box is not seen, so that people only see the text but they cannot see the outline of the box? It's possible. You select the text box again, you move your mouse pointer to where the text box is, and you might notice now selecting it, when it's rotated it's hard. So what you do, click inside the box. Okay, it will rotate back and it will be selected. Once selected, we want to change the outline so that the outer border of the text box is not visible. So you go to format, then you come to shape outline. You click shape outline, then you come down here and say no outline. When you say no outline, the border around the text box should be removed. So you click away and it is removed. It is not there, right? So that is how you rotate your text. That is how you apply, that is how you rotate your text and your text box. That is how you apply the background on your text box, and that is how you remove the borders of your text box. Now let's get the border back. So I'm going to click on the text box and I'm going to go to format. All you need to do is click shape outline and pick any color here, and it will restore the border back. The border is there. Let's say we want to change the color of the border. Click the text box, go back to format, shape outline, and let's make it green. You come to green, you click there, and the border is now green. Let's remove the yellow background on this text box. All you need to do is go to format and then come to shape fill, and then choose no fill, meaning you remove the color inside the text box. No fill. There you go. Click away, and there is your text box. Let's remove the outline. Click the box, go to shape fill, and pick no outline. So there you go. So what people will now see is a text that is rotated to a certain angle, but they will never know whether it's, or they will not be able to realize that that text is inside a text box, because you have removed the borders of the text box, so people cannot see the text box. So that is how you create text boxes, and their purpose is they give you the ability to have a text that is rotated in any given direction of your choice. Now let me show you one more thing. Let's create another text box. We go to insert, shapes, pick a text box here. Let's draw another text box here, and then let's type adjust and how to work with text boxes. Okay, I can now create a rotated text using Word, because all I need to do is insert a text box and type my text inside the box, then rotate it. Right, let's fix some errors here. Created. I now can create. I now can create a rotated text using MS Word. MS Word stands for Microsoft Word, because all I need to do is insert a text box. Good. Then let me push this on a little bit, resizing it now. Now let's highlight this text and let's change the font type. We go to home, we come here, we pick Cabria, we click here, we pick the text to 14. Now here it is. Let's pull it down a little bit so that we don't eliminate some of the text. We have some text that is hidden down here. Good. Inside the text box, then rotate it. Great. So now let's apply a different color to that text. So let's give it blue. Great. And now let's rotate this text in the opposite direction. So let's make it let's rotate it like this. By the way, I've just shown you how to rotate. You bring your mouse pointer at the green handle. You're going to get your mouse pointer changing into a rotation symbol. You click, hold it down, and then you can rotate your mouse. You want to rotate it like that. Let's drag it. To drag it, you click or you move your mouse pointer along the outline. When you get a plus sign kind of mouse pointer with 4 arrows pointing the opposite direction, you can click and drag and position your text box where you want it to be. I want to remove part of this because it doesn't want to really fit in here. And to remove this can here. I can now create a rotated text using MS Word, because all I need to do is type text inside. Okay, all I need to do is, let me remove certain section of this. All I need to do is type, this is my text, inside the box and rotate. Let me pull this on a little bit. It is very, so I want to make sure it's not as long. Great. And now, so this is the text. I make sure it's rotated at that angle, and then I can now remove the outline of the text box. So I click the text box, I go to format, I click shape outline, and then I click no outline. There you are. Now what you have two texts that are crossing each other. Okay, and you can even make the background transparent, so that you notice at this point the white part cutting across the chart is because the background of the text box is white, and so the white can be seen here. Let's try and make it transparent. You click the text box, then you go to shape fill, and let's pick no fill. Good. Once you click no fill, it means there's no color inside, and now you can see where these texts are crisscrossing, and you can read this text, and you can read this text. That is how you create text box, and that is how you can apply it. So you're going to have documents whereby you want to have text that's moving a given direction at an angle. Use text box to do that. Now I want you to practice that, and then in the next section of this video lesson, I'm gonna dive in and I'm going to show you how to work with the basic shapes. And if time allows, we are going to learn how to work with the clip art, and then you'll be winding up to working with object, and you'll have one more lesson to go whereby we are going to do the final part of working with MS Word. For now, pause this video lesson or rewind this video lesson, practice what you've just done, and in the next 1 or 2 minutes you're going to come back, and then you're going to move forward and you're going to learn how to work with basic shapes. Done your practice? Great. Let's move to the next phase of this lesson. Now what I want us to do is I want to show you how to work with basic shapes. Now I have already alluded into basic shapes. As the name suggests, they're just shapes that you can insert into your document, and they are very basic, not complicated. So how do you create basic shapes? You go to insert and you come to shapes, and you find them where you find your text box. So these are your shapes. So let's say I want to pick a shape, like let's say I want to create a block of wood and pretend that is a table. So I can pick any of these shapes. I can come to this shape and click this shape. You're going to get your mouse pointer, like your mouse pointer changes to a plus sign. I'm going to click and drag, and it will draw that block of shape. Now, like we did with the text box, there are a number of things that you can do to this block. One, you can resize it, meaning I can drag it downward to make it bigger. I can come here on this handle, click, hold, and drag it sideways. All right, there you are. I can also rotate it. I can click to select it. I come to this green handle here. I click, hold down, and then rotate. I'm holding down the left mouse button, and then I'm dragging and trying to rotate my mouse, and you're able to rotate your block. Let me bring it there again. Let me take it back to originally where it was. Great. Now, something else that you can use, there's a new handle here that you didn't see and that was not in the text box, and that is this yellow handle. The purpose of this yellow handle is to help you reshape or change the shape proportionally. You change the shape of this actually basic shape. So how do you do it? You bring your mouse pointer to the yellow handle. The mouse pointer will change. Click and hold down, and then drag in any direction. If you pull it down, you notice you are able to change how the blocks look like. You click it, push it up, you will change it. Okay, so we use this one to reshape it. So let's reshape it to something close to something like a tabletop, and there it is. So what's the next thing that you want to do? Let's change the top of this table. So you select the object, and you can change its shape fill. So select it, go to format, and this shape fill, you click here. You can apply any of these colors. You want the top to be yellow or green, you can pick any of this. And you can also change the outline. Okay, notice the current outline is blue. You can come here to shape outline and you can change it to something like red. Okay, now let's give it something close to like a wooden top. So you go to shape fill. Instead of picking any of these colors, you can go right away to texture. Okay, and you cross over here and you pick any texture of wooden texture here, or any texture that you want to see. Let's pick a wooden texture. We assume this is a table, so we can pick this walnut. There you are, you have your table. Now let's pick another shape. Click insert and let's go to shapes. Let's pick a glass. Let's say we want to pick something like this and you're going to call it a glass. So just click it. You have your mouse pointer, change it to a plus. I'm ready to draw. You click, hold down the left mouse button, then you draw a glass. You place it right on top of your table. Okay, and then let's give it something close to a glass. We're going to change it to gray. So we select it, and then you go to shape fill. Let's give it one of these colors so that it's close to gray. The shape outline is blue and very thick. We want to click here and let's give it grayish, and it's very thick. Let's make it a little bit light. So you go to weight here, and depending on which weight you pick, it's going to be very thick. So you can pick something like this so that it's not that thick. There you are, you have your glass there. Now one more thing, let's pick one more shape and then I'm gonna let you practice. Let's say we want to place what do we want to place here? Let's get creative. Let's say we want to place a glass mat. We go to insert, you click shapes, you can pick a glass mat here, see something like this, and draw it there. Okay, try to place it on top of the table. Remember, you can move it around. Okay, to move any shape, all you need is click the shape, then you drag it, hold it down the left mouse button, and I want to position this one here so that it would look like the glass is on top of this glass mat. So what you notice is the glass doesn't really look like it's on top. It looks like it's blocked, it's on the other side. Now there are a number of things that you can do with the basic shapes. You can rearrange them the way you want. You can have one shape blocking the other, and another shape you can bring it. You can pick any given shape that seems to be behind another shape and bring it to the forefront, or you can pick any shape that seems to be very much on the forefront and take it behind another shape. So good to have to pick this glass and we bring it forefront so it appears as if it is the top of this mat. But before we do that, let's change the shape fill of the glass mat. Click the glass mat, you go to format, of course, you click shape fill. You can pick any of these colors. Let's try something new. Let's try something. Let's see what you try. Picture, texture. Right, let's try some texture here. Let's say it's made of this material or this material. Great. So now we want to place this glass on top here. The only way we can do that is we move this glass forward so it appears as if it's on top of this glass mat. To do that, select the glass, you just click it, and then here's what you do. You make sure you are on format, and now notice what is happening here. We have bring forward and send back. You click this button, the bring forward. You need to have three options: bring forward, bring to front, bring in front of text. Bring forward means it is going to move one step forward. Bring front means it to move right to the front. Okay, so let's click bring front. There you are. So notice now the glass has moved to the front, and now it appears as if it is on the top of this glass mat. It is creativity. And now there you are. You have something that looks like a tabletop, seems to have a glass mat, and then the glass, or this mug, if you would, it's placed on that glass mat. So these are basic shapes, and that is how you work with them. You can get creative and you can use basic shape to create anything that you want, right? But now what you notice is this: if I move this tabletop, if I click it and move it, it will move away, leaving the rest of the shapes. But I want to group them together so that if you move one of them, they move all of them together as one block. So how do you do that? Let me get it back. It's right there. So we want now to move this on a little bit. All right, what we want to do is we want to group them together so that when you move one of them, all of them moves as if they are one single object. So how do you do that? It's very simple. First of all, you select one of them. Okay, then you press and hold down the shift key. Press and hold down the shift key. Don't release the shift key, keep holding it. As you hold it, select the other one, and then select the other one, and then release it. That will enable you to select all the objects. Even if you have 100 of them, use the same technique. Select the first one, hold down the shift key, and as you hold it down, select all the others, and then you have all of them selected. Once you do that, go to format, and then come here and click right there and click group. When you click group, MS Word will bind them together. So click group, and there you are. Now if I try to move one of these, like the tabletop, I click the tabletop, I try to move it, drag it, it will move together with the rest of the object. So that is how you group objects together. And if you're very creative, you can come up with a logo just by bringing together, reshaping different basic shapes, typing inside the shape, and you'll be able to create anything that you want to create. Now, it may not be one of the best to create logos, but at least you can do something very basic if you want to with the word. So notice now they are moving together as a block. How do you separate them? Simple. You select them, go to format, go to group, and then click ungroup. Click ungroup. You notice now each one of them is selected separately. You click away and you click one of them and you drag, and it will move on its own independent. Right? So now that is exactly how you work with basic shapes. Now I want to do one more thing on basic shapes. I want to show you how to create a simple banner. Then I'll let your creative juices flow and you come up with your own logo or own design using different basic shapes. So if I go to insert, I come to basic shapes, and I click any of these basic shape for banners here. Like if I pick this, right, I can click and you draw a banner. Okay, if I am interested in creating a logo, and then I can change the color of the shape fill. I'll click there, I can change the shape fill to yellow. Okay, and then I can change the outline, shape outline to something maybe like red. If I want to type inside here, how do I do it? The only way to type inside this basic shape is to draw a text box inside here, then you type inside that text box. We know how to draw a text box, so let's do it. Click insert, and you go to shapes, then you go to text box. Here it is. You click text box, then you come and draw it there. Okay, and then you type your school motto, that is be something like strive for excellence. Okay, and then you highlight it. Okay, and then you go to home. Let's try to improve it. Let's make it slightly bigger. We give it 12. Let's go to font type. Let's pick Cabria, and then let's underline it, and then let's make it italic, right? And then let's make it even bigger. Let's make it 14, and you can even go here and pick a different font type that will make it look more attractive. Let's see which text that will give us something that is more attractive and artistic. All right, let's see Lucinda calligraphy. There you are, and then you can make it bold. And there you are, strive for excellence. Let's fix this error here. Great. And then if I don't want this white part to be seen, if I want the text to seem as if it's typed on the top of the yellow banner, all I need to do is remove the background of the text box and even remove the outline of the text box. So how do you remove the background of the text box so that the white background disappears? Select the text box, and then you go to format, go to shape fill, and click no fill, and the white background is gone. And then I want to remove this outline so that it's not visible, the outline of the text box. So I go to format. Of course you need to select it. Go to format, then you go to shape outline, and then you pick no outline. And there you go. Now it will appear as if strive for excellency, you've written it on this banner, but really it's on a text box. Let's change its color. Let's highlight it. Make it look more beautiful. Let's see. Okay, it's not visible, so let's try to pick something that will make it more visible. We want to give it let's go for more colors. Let's give it really blue, deep blue, and then you click OK. There you are, strive for excellence. And then using other shapes, you can add something on top here and you create a college or a school banner. Now the problem here now is when you move this banner like down here, the text will remain there. So you need to glue them together so that when you move the banner, it moves together with the text. So let's get this banner back by using undo. And now let's group them together. To do that, select the text box where we have the strive for excellence, then hold down the shift key and then you click the banner. There you are. Now both are selected. Let's group them. Go to format menu and then move along, come down to group here and then you click group. And there you go. Now when you move the banner, they move together with the text. What's remaining? You can add a few things on top here to create a banner, and I want you to get creative and add something on top to create a banner. Let me give you some clues. Go to insert shapes, look for a shape that you can place on top of this banner and create something that really close to a college logo or a school logo. You can pick something like this. You draw it right here and you rotate it. You have to use all the skills that we have learned so far. You click this red handle for rotation, you rotate it. we want to place it right on top of this banner. You move it right there, position it there, and you drag it a little bit. Okay, and then from there you can put a text inside it, or you can add something else on the top to really complete your work. Let's go insert, shapes. Let's see what we can pick and add on top of this to create something that makes it look much more better. All right, let's see what we have here. Now remember, you can pick anything depending on what you want to create. You can pick anything and you can decide to add it on top of this to create a banner, or rather to create a logo. Anything will do as long as it is going to give you the logo that you are looking for. All right, so now in my case, I can just go to basic shapes and just pick anything like this rectangle, and I can draw it here, or I can remove that. I can pick another banner like this and put it on top. You go to insert, basic shape, pick another banner like that. I'm going to pick now this one. I'll click it, then I can draw it here, and let's see. To place it on top here, try to come with something close to what I want. Remember, you have to get creative. Any that gives you what you're looking for will do. Right, there you are. And then I can say that is going to be my school college logo. I can go to insert or pick a text box, and then I'll go to text box, and then I'll click here. Okay, and then I can say this is KMTC, right? And then I can go to insert again, basic shapes. I can pick another text box. I can draw it right here, and I can pull this text box down here. Then I can type welcome. Okay, let's see whether we can reshape this. Let's see whether we can reshape this banner so that we can allow the text welcome here to really be accommodated on this space. So I'll click this yellow reshaping button, and then let's try to reshape it, and let's see what happens. Okay, I can pull it like this. Good. Right, to create space here, so that I click this text box, I pull it, so that is welcome. Then I can click this text box and I can push it like that. I'll bring it down here, drag it, then I can click this one and move it. Sorry, can I click this one, move it upward there. You can have that one as welcome. Great. Then I want to another text box down here that says to. So I can go to insert, I got shapes, and I click this text box, and I draw another text box here, and that says to. I make it big enough to accommodate the word to, and then I move it slightly upward, and then I can move it so that it appears to be somewhere at the end here. Okay, I'm just trying to be very creative. Move it a little bit upward. I'll click this one, move it a little bit down. So you have welcome to, and then this is KMTC. Right, and then you can put anything else that you want here. You can just create anything or any text box right here with some text that you really make this log looks good. You can move this text instead here, and then we have this one right there. And you can have welcome to KMTC, and then you can just click here and then type campus. Giving you some clues on what you can do. So we type campus, welcome to KMTC campus. There you are, and then you can combine them together. You can remove the white background that is on this text boxes. You can just retain them as they are. If it looks good, you can retain them as they are. If it doesn't really look good, you can remove the text boxes. The point here is come up with a logo of your choice for your own design, and I want you to use text boxes, combine them with basic shapes, use grouping, and design a logo of your choice. The point here is to practice. All right, so go ahead, I want you to practice that, and then in a few minutes we will dive into the final part of this video lesson, where I'm going to show you how to work with basic shapes. How to work with clay parts. What are clay parts and how do you use them? And then we'll be wrapping up with this video lesson. Now, one more thing before you get into your practice. As you keep on working on your document, you should always click this button called save. What happens is this: the first time we saved our work, whatever we had created then was saved, but the new changes we have added, including these new designs that you've added here, that have not been saved. Meaning, if for some reason power goes off in your computer and you've just added this and you have not clicked save since the first time that you saved, any new changes you added after saving, they'll be lost. So to continually save the changes that you are adding on your document, you should always click save after a while. So let's click save. You will not see anything happening, because what is going to happen is it is not going to save the entire document. You just save the new changes that you've added into your document. So you have to constantly click save so that you can save your new changes. So take some minutes, pause this video lesson or rewind it, practice working with basic shapes, resizing them, dragging them, reshaping them, changing the outline of a basic shape. Remember, the outline is the outline border. This red outline here. Fill is the inside color of that basic shape. Practice grouping, practice applying shape fill or color or a pattern or a gradient. Okay, if I click this one, it's to show you, you can go to format and then you can change the shape fill. You can pick gradient if you want, and you pick more gradient. Basically, gradients are a combination of colors, several colors. So if I come here and pick gradient, and then I click here, you can pick any of these preset gradients. For instance, if I click this and then I click close, notice what has been applied to my basic shape. Okay, so those are what you are calling gradient. A pattern is a combination of colors that you can use to create something that has a combination of several colors with a very specific pattern. Let's use it on this glass mat. Click the glass mat and go to shape fill, then come to gradient, crossover, and come to gradient here. You move along, you crossover, you come down to more gradient, and instead of picking gradient or solid color, which gives you solid colors, you can go for pattern fill, and here you're going to have different patterns. Let's pick a pattern that represents a cloth, maybe this, and then once you pick the pattern, you can decide what colors you want to combine together to create that pattern. You pick the colors here. Let's click here and pick a color like this color, and then let's click here and pick the background color like this color, and there you have a pattern for the piece of cloth that you want to use as a pattern to apply on your glass mat. You can pick any other color, right? And then you pick now the pattern that you want, that one, then you click close, and it's applied right on the basic shape that you have chosen. Great, that is a lot, and so I want you to take some time, practice this, and then we are going to meet after a few minutes, and then you do the final bit of this video lesson, and that's going to be working with clip art. So for now, go ahead and do some practice. Great. Now, I want to believe that you've done some good practice. If you haven't, no problem. Just pause the video lesson, go ahead, take time, practice, then you come back. I'll be right here. Come and resume this video lesson, and then you're going to continue to the next session. For now, I want to go ahead, assuming that you've done your practice, and I want to finish up on the remaining part of this video lesson, and that is working with the clay parts. Before we do that, let's save this work. We said you should continuously save your work. So I'll go to save, I'll click save, and I have saved my work. Now let me scroll down now into a new page. We are here on a new page. What we're going to do right now is I'm going to show you what clip arts are, how to work with the clip arts, add them into your document, and after that we are going to wrap up this video lesson. All right, first of all, what are clip arts? Basically, these are pre-drawn images that you're going to find they are building within Microsoft Word. You can pick them and apply them. So for some reasons or the other, you're going to need to create some document with, some pictures or some basic clips, and you want to know where to pick those clips or where to pick those pictures within Microsoft Word and how to apply them. It's very simple. You go to insert. If I want to put a clip art here, you go to insert and then you go to clip art. Remember, we worked with basic shapes, we worked with tables. Now you work with the clip art. You click clip art. Once you click clip art, you expect something to happen, and this is what's going to happen. Your system will open what you call clip art here, and here you can type the category of clip art that you want. For instance, if I want people, clips of people, I just type people, okay, and then you click go, and it will dive in and come up with images of people, and these are images of people. I can pick any image that I want and apply it. I want the image of a doctor, so I just click this doctor here. Click the doctor is placed here. It's that simple. You have your doc here, and you can click and drag your doctor. You notice that your doctor is not dragging when you try to drag him as it was with the basic shapes. I'll show you how to drag clay parts. So let me pick another clay part. I'm going to remove people and I'm going to type flower. Right, let's say I want a flower, and then I click go, and you get images of flowers here. Let me click this one. I want this flower. I click it, and here you are. All right, so now you have these images here, and you can get as many images as you want. So now, how do we make it possible for these images to move around? You notice if you hold down your left mouse button, try to drag them, they are not moving around. So how do you make them movable? How do you make them draggable, so to say, so that you can drag them around? You select the image, and then this is what you do. You go to format, and then once you go to format, you come here to position. You click there. Okay, now you come here to wrap text. You click wrap text, not position, wrap text, and then you pick in front of text. If you click in front of text, it means you can now move around this image freely. And if you have a text, the image will come in front of the text. The text will be behind the image. Okay, let's select this one, and let's come here. Let's pick in front of text. You can pick in front of text or behind text. Basically, behind text means if you have text written on top of the image, the text will go behind the image will be on the forefront. If you pick in front of the text, if you have text written on the top of the image will actually be on top of the text will be a position behind it. So let's click behind the text, and let me now show you the difference. Sometimes they may appear like they have disappeared if you make those changes, and they really do disappear. So all you need to do is, like our doctor seem to have disappeared, you just scroll, you will find them somewhere. Here they are, here it is, moved at the top here. Now remember, we set this one to be behind text. If I type some text here, that hi, I have just learned how to work with clip arts. And if I move this image there, you will notice that the image seems to be behind. Let me move this text down here. I'm using enter, and then I click the image and I move it. So what do you notice? The image seems to be behind the text, and that's why you can see the text right here. Okay, let's see. I have just learned how to work with clip art. This is very interesting lesson. I want to practice more on this lesson and truly master working with objects. Great. So now notice the text seems to be behind, or rather the image seems to be behind and the text seems to be in front. If we pick this image down there, we have an image here that we inserted, this one, and we drag it upward. Let's try to resize it so that's not as big. I'm using the handles. Resizing clips is the same as resizing images. And then I click and I drag it, and I want to position it to where we have this text. Let's see the difference. Now what do you notice? This image is in front of the text, and so it's blocking the text. this image is behind the text, so the text is on top of the image. And so depending on which position you set your clip art, it will determine what happens when you type a text right through the image. So if I click this image, and if I go to format and I come to wrap text, then I say I want the image behind the text. Click there, then you can see your text. So it's now no longer blocking the text, it's right behind the text. So that is how you insert clip art. You can resize them, you can drag them, you can send them behind text or in front of text. Now, if you want to rotate them, you just come to this green arrow, or other green handle, you click and then you rotate, and they rotate. Just like we've done, anything we've done with basic shapes, you can do with your clip art. So let's do one more clip art, and let's wrap up with this video lesson. So let's look for clip art of a computer. So I'm going to type core computer, okay, and then I click go. Remember, to access a computer, you have to come here or to a clip art dialog box. You click there and then you type computer, and then you click go, and to get different images of our computer. I'm going to click this. I want this. I'll click it, inserted here, and I'm going to move it. You notice it's not moving. So like I said, for you to make sure that your clip art moves, you select it, and then you go to format, come to wrap text, and pick either behind text or in front of text. So you just pick behind text, and then I can drag it and position it there. Great. Okay, and then I can say, there you go. And you can rotate it, you can resize it. If you come to this handle here, you can pull it apart and make it bigger. You can pull it downward if you want to make it really big to fill out the page. Put it aside, put this one aside, really aside, bring it down, bring it down, and there you are. That is your image, what you call clip art. Right, so what I want you to do is, I want you to do a ton of practice of everything that you've covered in this video lesson, because in the next video lesson we are going to be wrapping up with working with Microsoft Word. We've really made some very significant progress, and you're coming up to the end of this package. I want you to take your time and practice everything that you've learned, and then I'm going to see you in the next video lesson as we dive into the final part of working with Microsoft Word. Until then, take your time and practice. Remember, repetition is the mother of skill. You want to master something, you repeat it over and over and over again. If you do that, you're going to really get good at what we have already covered up to this point. I'll see you in the next lesson when you've done good practice on everything that you've covered.